right, we're back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast. Just a reminder again, streamelements.com/gsmcsportsnetwork./tip. Tip and donations link. It really does help us. It does help the show. It helps me, helps everyone. So it would be really appreciated. But again, thank you for watching as well. So, we're going to be going to our second segment here, which is going to be about prospects. I haven't talked much about prospects so far with my recordings and live streams, so I'm going to talk about it now, and I'm going to talk about impact prospects for both leagues. We're going to start off with the AL, and just prospects. I think these are from teams that can really impact the team this year, come up and kind of be a centerpiece, or just provide good depth, provide filling in for someone. So let's talk about it. First, we're going to start off with the Yankees, and I have Will Warren. Will Warren is one of their better pitching prospects. Really broke out over the past couple of years with just really good stats in AAA, AA. Has good stuff as well. I think the Yankees pitching has some questions, some question marks as well. We talked about this. They have a lot of injury risk. Cole is kind of the only one where we're set on. Cortez, Stroman, both have injury risk. You have Rodon, of course, major injury risk. And at some point in the year, like most teams, they're going to have a big injury for pitching. All teams have it. It's just something that happens. And I look at a guy like Will Warren who can come up, pitch some quality innings. He's going to be part of the rotation for a long time sooner or later. He can pitch up some quality innings with the Yankees, fill in for some starts, and maybe even get a spot in that rotation. He is young. He's good. And I think he's probably their top impact prospect. I almost went with Chase Hampton for this, but I figured Will Warren might have a better chance of getting to the major leagues. But I think him and Chase Hampton, both kind of what I've said about Will Warren, applies to him as well. And Next, we have the Rays. We have Junior Camarino. Most baseball fans know who he is. He's a consensus top 10, really top 5 prospect in baseball. Is one of the better ones. Really broke out after a trade from the Guardians to the Rays. And has become just a mainstay in that Rays future when you mention it. He came up last year only for a little bit. That's why I'm mentioning him. There are some players who came up last year, but if they did, it was for a very short amount of time. It wasn't for a significant amount, and they weren't really a big starter or anything like that. So that's kind of the cutoff here. But I think he's going to slot into an opening day starting position right away, especially now with the Wander Franco situation. We don't know what's happening with him. I would assume he's not going to play for the Rays this year or probably ever again. So you have Camarino slots into a starting role, with Brandon Lau, Isaac Paredes, other players in that infield. I think he's their top impact prospect. I think it's pretty clear. He's a top 5, top 10 prospect in baseball for a reason. You could even argue he's higher than that. He's very close to the major leagues. He made it last year, of course. He's going to be a starter. I look for him to make a big impact with the Rays this season. Next, Blue Jays. Ricky Tiedemann. Ricky Tiedemann is one of the better pitching prospects in baseball, has been for a little bit now, probably the best left-handed pitching prospect in baseball. He's very close to the major leagues. We've heard a lot about him over the past few years. Again, there's going to be some pitching injuries, especially for a pitching rotation as deep as the Blue Jays, especially if Alek Manoah, we talked about that yesterday, especially if Alek Manoah can rebound and be good again and get into shape. So I think Ricky Tiedemann provides some great depth. I think he'll be a starter in the rotation by the end of the year. He's really, really good, and Blue Jays fans have been clamoring for him to be up for a long time. So it just makes some sense. Red Sox, Marcelo Mayer. This one might be kind of a reach. Marcelo Mayer was one of the top prospects in the draft 2 or 3 years ago. Got picked 4th after falling because of some money issues, going to the Red Sox. And as a prospect, he showed why he was one of the top prospects in the draft. He's become really good. He's probably the shortstop for the future of the Red Sox. I don't know if he's going to come up this year and make a big impact. MLB Pipeline has his ETA as 2024, so they kind of agree with me that he may. I think he's definitely going to be a shortstop for a long time. Probably you can move Story now to a second base spot, make him age better, potentially. So it just makes a lot of sense for Marcelo Mayer to be up, to impact the Red Sox team, and bring them some more youth for that team, some more depth as well. Finally, we have probably the biggest one here that you were all waiting for, and that is, of course, the number one prospect in baseball, the number one overall pick in the draft a few years ago, Jackson Holliday. Jackson Holliday, of course, the shortstop prospect for the Orioles, probably the best shortstop prospect in baseball, probably the best prospect in baseball. There's not much to say about him. He's really, really good. He's the first top prospect in baseball for a reason. He earned that title. He's going to be the Orioles shortstop for a long time. Him and Gunnar Henderson are going to anchor that left side. He has the chance to make the team out of opening day, apparently. I don't know if he will, but even if he doesn't, I think he's going to be the Orioles starting shortstop by May or June or something like that. Pretty soon. He's really, really good. He's part of the future of that insane Orioles youth. And yeah, I'm looking forward to watching him in the big leagues this year. We're going to move on to the AL Central, and we're going to be talking about the Twins. And this one for the Twins is Brooks Lee. Brooks Lee, we heard, has a chance to make the team out of camp. He's a really good middle infield prospect. He's very good, obviously. I think he's ready for the big leagues. He slots in with that very nice Twins infield. If he does come up, you now have an infield of Eduardo Julian, who probably slots to first base now. You have Brooks Lee, who probably goes to second. Carlos Correa, of course, manning short. And Royce Lewis at third. That is an infield that can be together for the next 5-10 years. Just an incredible array of talent, young talent as well. Even Correa, who's on the older side, still younger, I guess, kind of. He has a chance to be part of that really nice, young, underrated Twins core. I don't think the Twins get as much credit as they should for having just such a good team for the future. I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with for a little while. And I think Brooks Lee's going to be a part of that. So I think this is a big impact prospect to watch if you're a Twins fan, if you're a baseball fan. We'll see if he makes the team out of opening day. Next, we have the Guardians. I talked about him last episode as one of my X Factors, and that was Kyle Manzardo. He can make this lineup so much better if he comes up for opening day and he plays to his potential. One of the top first base prospects in baseball. They traded for him for a reason. He hits the ball so good. He's such a well-rounded player at the plate. I think he's going to be a future superstar for the Guardians. I love him as a prospect, and I love the trade they made to get him. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to watching Manzardo crush the ball this year. He's definitely going to be up. Probably going to be their first baseman by the end of the year, starting every day. So, looking forward to that. Next, White Sox. The White Sox are very bad, but when you're bad, you probably have good prospects, which the White Sox do. They at least have one, and that is Colson Montgomery. Consensus top 10 prospect in baseball, has risen up the ranks these past few years after getting drafted. Great, nice lefty swing, just beautiful. Lefty shortstop, looks really nice. Looks to be another young star for the White Sox to build around in this rebuild. You have Luis Robert, who is the other guy you're building around with here in the South Side. Him and Colson can probably be two of the impact players as you transfer out of this rebuild and try to become a better team for the future. So, yeah, I think he's going to be up this year. I don't know when. I think it'll be more towards the trade deadline or middle of the season. So, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to him with the White Sox and looking forward to watching what he does. Next, the Tigers. Colt Keith. This should be pretty easy. The Tigers gave him an extension for a reason, and that is because he's going to be really good. He's one of the better prospects in baseball, probably top 25. He's going to be a starter, slotting in the middle infield, second or third most likely. He's really good. He has some expectations now with that big contract laid upon him, and he's going to impact this team a lot, and hopefully it's going to be very well for Tigers fans' sakes. So definitely for that, when you got a big contract for playing a game in the MLB, this is what's going to be upon you. Finally, for the AL Central, we have the Royals. We have Gavin Cross. For the Royals, they did add a lot this offseason, but their farm system kind of needs some work still. I didn't really have many choices for this. If they did have some okay prospects, they probably weren't going to come up in 2024. Gavin Cross is probably the closest one. He's a fine outfield prospect, but I don't even know if he's going to come up in 2024. He could maybe towards the later part of the season be a nice starting corner outfield spot for them. But yeah, he's okay, but I didn't have much choices for the Royals. They don't have the best farm system, so it's what we had to go with. Moving on to the AL West now. Sorry. We have Jack Kokonowitz. I apologize if I mispronounced that name. I most likely did. But yeah, again, kind of same with the Angels. That's why I put them back to back. Not many choices. They have a good farm system. They have a good depth, but not many people are going to make an immediate impact. You have guys like Zach Neto, like Logan O'Hoppe, like Ben Joyce. They're good. They're young, but they're not prospects anymore. They've already had a significant amount of time in the MLB. So yeah, he could make some. Jack, I'm not going to pronounce his last name again. I think it'll probably be offensive toward him. But yeah, he could probably get in some quality innings for the Angels this year coming up. They always need pitching. We know this about the Angels, so getting a young prospect in there who can make some impact would be good for them. And so I think he's a big impact prospect to watch. The Astros, Jacob Milton. He's probably the best Astros prospect in the organization after the Justin Verlander trade, where they traded Drew Gilbert and they traded Ryan Clifford to get Justin Verlander back. So I think he's going to be mainstay in the outfield for a long time. I'm very high on him. I think he's a really good prospect. I like his hitting tool a lot. I think he has good speed, good defense. You have some uncertainty in that core, especially in the outfield with Kyle Tucker, who's going to be an impending free agent in the next 2 years. So if for some reason you couldn't get an extension done with Kyle Tucker, let's hope you do, because he deserves to stay in Houston. You have a guy like Melton who you can plug and play, and if you lose some other guys as well, you could probably plug and play him there. So I would look for him to be an impact prospect. May come up this year again as well. I think he will. So I would look at him as the big impact prospect in Houston. The A's, not much here. Denzel Clark, I mean, he's a nice outfield prospect. He'll probably be up this year, but he's not anyone to write home about. I don't know if he's a franchise cornerstone or anything like that. He's a fine player, but the A's don't have the greatest farm system. And some of the guys they do have at the top aren't going to be up soon. So, yeah, I went with Denzel here. Mariners, Emerson Hancock. He did make a few starts, but I didn't think it was enough to exclude him off the list for Seattle here. He's a very good starting pitcher prospect for them. They have so many good young starting pitchers, so many good prospects in that organization for his starting pitching. And I think Emerson adds to that. I think he's going to be really good. I think he has really great stuff. I think he's just part of that young core that's going to be really good for a really long time. So I'd look at him as a big impact prospect. And, yeah, I think he's going to be really good. And he's part of the Mariners young core there. And then we're going to end off with the reigning World Series champions. I'm going to say this every time because they deserve it, because they won the World Series, and that is the Texas Rangers. Now, I want to be clear here. I did not pick Evan Carter, even though that's what I think most people would have picked, because I don't really consider him a prospect anymore. Yes, he's still eligible for Rookie of the Year, which I assume he'll win because he's really good, but he started in the World Series for them. Like, come on. He's not a prospect anymore. But I'm going with a different corner outfielder, Wyatt Langford. I could talk for 10 minutes about how good Wyatt Langford is. Oh, my goodness. He is so good. Drafted out of Florida last year, top 5. Just a monster. Had a 1.1 OPS at AAA and a good amount of at-bats. He's so good. He's going to be part of the Rangers' future. I don't think you guys are going to be ready for how good he's going to be immediately when he comes up. He's really, really good. I'm jealous that he's on the Rangers. He's a great prospect, a great player, and I'm looking forward to watching him and how much he's going to crush baseballs. So, that was it for AL prospects who are going to make an impact.